Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am super excited. This is my very first video that I am putting out. We're starting with one of my favorite plants, which is the Peperomia. I have started with one plant on most of these, and now I have a lot of plants because they are so easy to propagate. They are so easy to take care of. They're very drought tolerant, so if I forget a little bit of watering, they will still be fine and forgive me. They're also very pest resistant. I've yet to have any of the spider mites, the mealy bugs, any of the scale that some of our other houseplants have suffered over the years. So before I show you how I have propagated them with success, I'd love to show off some of my collection. So we're gonna start with a very popular one. This is the watermelon peperomia. These leaves get humongous. You'll find this is often sold by Costco farms if you follow along with any of the sourcing videos as well. The other one I have here is the Chinese money plant or the friendship plant. Anywho, this one you can propagate by leaf cuttings like I'm gonna show you later, but also it sends out, I believe they're rhizomes, but little baby plants will pop up in the soil as well. And once they get large enough, you can actually cut that rhizome. They'll always have a little root started on them, and then you can just pop them up as you would a regular plant. This one is Piccolo Banda. Piccolo Banda is a really neat one. It's got really dark maroon veins going out the lighter, almost chartreuse green foliage. Then we're gonna move into what I call, one more, the frost. This is a really common too. You can see this almost every garden center if you see them with peperomias. The frost is nice and has like some real light green contrasted with the dark green foliage. It's a really good performer, and it is always one of my fastest growing peperomias when I propagate. Then the next version is gonna be a crinkle. So the crinkle or ripple peperomia has this really nice texture on the foliage that you can feel. They're a fun one to have. The one I want to show you first is the red crinkle. And this one gets a really dark burgundy leaf on it. It's a really fun one to watch. Super cool crinkle that I have that I'm super happy to have. This one is called Freckles. This one has variegation, and you know I am a sucker for variegation. I have a ton of variegated houseplants, and this one you can see has some great white variegation against the dark green foliage. And my favorite, the pink marble. If you've seen the pink Princess Philodendron variegation, that's what this reminds me of. So this is going to be one of the other ones that we propagate today. But you can see as it gets a little older, the variegation, some of the leaves turn almost completely pink. So this is gonna be a fun one to do today because I want more of them. Like, this is how my hobby has started. It's an obsession, let's be honest. So can't wait to show you that. I'm gonna show you two methods today. One is a really neat one to watch, and that is just water propagation. With that, you can see the roots forming, and then you can see the little tiny baby pups coming up through the water too. So really cool way if you have kids just to see, or from, like, I love watching the roots grow. The second way is going to be soil propagation. Due to space and how much I love cutting my plants, I've moved over completely to a soil propagation method for the peperomias. So I'm gonna show you a couple of different containers that you can use. And I'm gonna try a new one today, and hopefully we'll get the same satisfaction of the water root production as we do in the soil with a clear container. So let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start with the water propagation method first. The vessel that I'm choosing are these really cute little test tube holding ones. You just put your water in the test tubes. It's got a little jig where it holds them all. And this one, you can even hang on the wall if you have a place to put it there as well. So for the first plant, and it's important for me to tell you, always sanitize your cutting device, scissors, knife, whatever you're using, just in case your plants have a pest or disease problem, you're not gonna spread it from plant to plant. So these have been sanitized. The water I'm using is filtered water. I don't wanna have any chlorine or anything like that when I'm propagating, just so they have the best chance at success. So let's get to cutting, my favorite thing. The first one is the freckles or the variegated peperomia. Now, when you're looking at taking leaves from a peperomia, you don't necessarily want to get always the oldest leaves, although I have had great success by doing that. And sometimes that's what I like to do when I want to clean up my plant and just make it nice and tidy. So I will be taking some of those from the end, as well as if there's anything in the middle that's covering some of the little plants or the little leaves inside that are getting to taking the light away, basically, or shading them is what I was looking for. I will take some of those, and then that opens up the canopy of the plant as well. So there's many different ways to do. I'm just gonna get to cutting. I wanna take this guy who is on the end. I'll take him first. I'm gonna take one of the middle ones, and I wanna do 2 in water and 2 in soil. So that way, when we do our update video, we can compare which performed quicker or better. And take this guy back here. And this one down here is a little close to the soil, so I don't really want it touching the soil. I'm gonna take him off so that he can start his own plant. Okay, I have my 4 leaves. See how great the variegation is there. Now, I have cut as close to the base as I can, but that's not necessarily the length that I want. So I'm gonna trim it up almost to just 1/2 inch. I always cut at an angle. The surface area, by creating an angle, is larger, and that way, especially when I do the soil propagation, it allows more leaves and babies to be forced out. So I'm gonna cut him at an angle. I'm just gonna repeat that for all 3 of the remaining leaves.
3.
One I cut a little short, and that'll be a soil one. The ones that I have about this length here is gonna be my water propagations. So I'm gonna take my shortest ones, put them to the side. And I've got these 2, and this will be part of the water propagation for freckles. Just pop them down in there. And we're good to go. So I'm gonna repeat that process, and I'm also going to do my favorite, the pink marble peperomia. This one, same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and take these larger leaves from the side. I might take more than 4 because I like this plant. I want more than 4 babies. And then again, I'm gonna clean up the top of the canopy. I'm gonna take some of these that are shading the baby leaves, like so. I have 4, and I'm just gonna take these last 2 on the ends. So I will have 6. And there's another one, let's just take 7. The more the merrier. So this guy is pruned up, you can see that made it a nice shape, and then we will make more. So same thing as with freckles. I'm gonna trim down their stems at an angle and get them all prepped. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 baby marble, pink marble ones. I'm gonna go ahead and take 3 of these because I have 3 empty spaces here in my water props. I'm gonna put those in. Some of these leaves are hard to balance on there, but that is okay. And that's all there is to it for water propagation. Once the roots start forming, of course, I'll have an update for you all. It is just a cool thing to watch, and to see the little underwater leaves forming is really neat too. So that is the plant propagation of peperomia in water. Then next I will show you how I have moved on and basically do most of them in soil. So stay tuned. Okay, on to the soil propagation. So I want to show you a couple of the vessels that you can use. This is just a simple, clear takeout container or salad container. You can line this entire bottom with soil and then just stick them in the top, as I'll show you here momentarily. And this has worked for me pretty well, but they're a little flimsier and they're not compartmentalized well. So I will show you what I use next after this one. Another takeout container, same concept, just fill this with soil, Make sure this isn't a very deep lid, so you need to make sure that the leaves don't touch the top of the lid to prevent mildew or mold. But this you could also use as well. But for today, I am choosing to use this seed starting one. This has 4, 8, 12 different compartments. So if I don't have 12, I will have to make 12 leaves because I don't want to waste any of the space. I filled it with soil. The soil that I'm using is compost, vermiculite, and there are some cocoa coir chunks in it, which I didn't feel like making up new ones. You wouldn't necessarily want the cocoa coir, but it's not going to hurt anything for this presentation. So then I have, you can see it's clear, which is going to be really cool if I can see the roots coming through. And then this sits in its container, and it has the humidity dome. Very important to have the humidity domes or something to cover to keep the humidity up. Reason being, when you cut the roots, there is no longer or you cut the leaf from it, there are no longer roots supporting it and taking up water. So it can actually stay hydrated through the moisture and the humidity in the air. So that's why until it gets its own root system, you need to have a humidity dome. So let's go ahead and get started with sticking these. I'm going to use what's called a dibber. This is actually a little marker. You can use that, you can use your finger, whatever you like. And I'm going to go down the rows here and stick what I have cut. So we'll start with the freckles, the variegated one. And how I'm going to position this, I'm going to try to make sure when I put the lid on that the leaf doesn't actually touch the lid. So I'm just going to very gently tamp that in, and I'll repeat that for all of them. I just took some cuttings off of one. I realized I did not tell you what it was. This is a Verde. It's just an all green one, which I like. There are so many different variegations of the Peperomia. It's nice to have one that is just simple. All right, there you have it. So these are all of my leaves that I took off of the plant. They're all just stuck in the soil very loosely. I have pre-moistened the soil, so it is moist already. The next step I will do is I will take a spray bottle with, again, filtered or distilled water and spray everything down and let it sit for just a little bit. After that is done, I will put on my humidity dome. Good, they all fit. And then this will go in my grow room under the plant lights. And don't worry, I will show you my grow room in an upcoming video. So there it is. I will keep you updated with how this is going. Before I box this away, because I will forget, I'm going to write the date in which I stuck these. So today is December 29th. What a way to go into the new year, right? Put my little label here, and then I will always know these were stuck on December 29th. I love using this if I do sell my plants to know the crop time and how long it takes to get to a finished plant. Show you some of my propagations I've done already and what I like to use for these. And again, these were all started from single leaves. They've done so well. My Rosso here has done phenomenal. And there, again, I was talking about it in an earlier video, or earlier in this video. It produces not just one plant when you do this method. A lot of times it produces multiple plants. I choose my selling size because peperomias don't require a lot of water, and then they fit so nicely in this takeout container bottom, and I can water everything right in the bottom of this. It makes it super, super easy and space effective. These little 2.5 inch growers pots here. All right, that is a wrap. So I cannot wait to show you how the water propagation versus our soil stuck cuttings of peperomia have gone. So one day you can start your own peperomia forest like I have done here as well. Until next time, thank you all so much for watching. Tune in for the next one. I'll see you soon. Bye.